Heartwarming encounter. Little girl's incredible question to CEO revealed life-changing truth. The sun shone brightly over Maplewood Park, casting a warm glow on the bustling community funding event. Families gathered, laughter ringing through the air, and food trucks lined the edges. In the midst of this cheerful chaos stood Emma, an 8-year-old girl with bright, innocent eyes and an insatiable curiosity that made her friends chase their dreams. But dreams often felt just out of reach, slipping through the fingers of hard-working families like hers. Emma's mother, Brenda, a dedicated waitress at the local diner, worked tirelessly to make ends meet. Long hours stretched across her days, leaving her exhausted yet full of warmth when she returned home. Their little house was alive with laughter, and even when finances were tight, they shared stories, dreams, and hope. But Emma couldn't shake the questions that danced in her mind, questions that bled into the fabric of their everyday lives. And so on this sunny Saturday, Emma's innocent curiosity turned into bravery. She had spotted Mr. Thompson, the CEO of the nearby tech company that many in her town admired for its charitable donations, yet whispered about its corporate decisions. Her heart raced as she approached him, the warm air heavy with anticipation. Shyly, she asked, "Why do some people have so much while others have so little?" The crowd fell silent. Eyes widened. Mr. Thompson blinked, caught off guard, a flicker of surprise washing over his features. The sincerity in Emma's voice echoed like a bell, her tiny frame standing firm despite being surrounded by towering adults. His mind raced back to his own childhood, when he too faced the same struggles, igniting a spark of conflict within him. Moved by Emma's question, Mr. Thompson invited her and her mother to tour his company. Emma's heart fluttered with excitement, an adventurous spark lighting up her face. But as they stepped into the sleek, glass offices, a wave of disillusionment washed over her. The shiny conference rooms felt worlds apart from the cozy diner where her mother served pancakes with love. Brenda, usually so optimistic, glanced around with unease, the opulence highlighting the stark disparities between their lives and that of corporate success. Emma felt her mother's tight grip on her hand, as though trying to shield her from the discomfort surrounding them. Yet, the more they learned about the company's operations, the more Emma felt a stirring of understanding. She recognized that the pursuit of profit often left the very communities, like hers, struggling. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. As Mr. Thompson stood at the crossroads of ambition and ethics, he felt Emma's innocent inquiry linger in his heart. Reminded of the sacrifices his own parents made, guilt stirred within him, urging him to consider the impact of his choices. Could he use his position of privilege to uplift those who had been forgotten? But Emma sensed a rift in her mother's heart, a worry lingering in the air. What sacrifices would they make for the newfound awareness of the CEO? Would he bring about change, or would his past decisions extinguish their flickering hopes? The questions hung heavy as Emma watched Mr. Thompson's expression shift with contemplation. Would he choose to take action that could truly reshape lives? Would the light of one small girl's curiosity spark the change this town so desperately needed? As the tour progressed, Emma's mind buzzed with excitement and confusion. The polished surfaces of the office reflected light like a beacon, but that brilliance felt hollow against the backdrop of her own world. She gazed out the large windows, trying to imagine the lives of the workers below, their struggles, dreams, and the simple joys that accompanied hard work. What about my town? She thought. How can this company help us? Mr. Thompson noticed her absorbing every detail. The childlike wonder in her eyes tugged at his memories, the way he used to dream before he lost sight of the people behind the numbers. He cleared his throat, trying to shield her from the complexity of corporate realities. Every company faces challenges, Emma, he began, his voice steadier than he felt. We aim to grow the business and support the community, but sometimes it feels like we're juggling too many balls at once. It's complicated. Brenda squeezed Emma's hand tighter, as if trying to anchor her in a sea of uncertainty. But why is it complicated? Emma's innocent question cut through the air. Can't you just help people? Don't you want to? The adults around them held their breaths, the tension palpable. This small girl had ignited a flame of urgency that danced through the room. Mr. Thompson looked down at her, a mix of admiration and sorrow etched on his face. He had been so consumed with reaching targets, climbing ladders, and earning profits that he had almost forgotten the essence of what business could be: the ability to create change, to lift others up. I do want to help, he finally replied, earnestness creeping into his voice. But it's up to us to find a way to connect those two worlds. Emma tilted her head, confused but intrigued. What do you mean? He paused, feeling the weight of her gaze. What if... He hesitated. What if we started a program that trains young people in your town for jobs in technology? We could sponsor them to learn the skills they need, a pathway to brighter futures. Brenda's brow furrowed, a mix of hope and skepticism swirling in her heart. Are you serious? She blurted out, too bewildered to hold back. Do you really think your company would invest in something like that? Why not? The words tumbled out. I need to make changes, and the community matters. What I've realized is that true success isn't just about numbers. It's about people. Emma's eyes sparkled with a flicker of hope. That sounds amazing. There was a whirlwind of excitement as she envisioned her friends learning, growing, and chasing their dreams. But as the conversation morphed into brainstorming possibilities, Brenda felt a tinge of caution. Was this just a ploy? A temporary fix that would fade like the evening sun? And what about the actual people who work for you now? Do they even see us? Mr. Thompson nodded soberly, the reality settling in. That's a crucial part. I can't just sprinkle help around and call it good. It has to be sustainable. I will need your insights. The spark of connection between them brightened as ideas flowed about community involvement, partnerships, and the steps needed to turn words into action. They were starting to feel a glimmer of something they hadn't dared to believe in: a partnership, a promise, a chance for a fair shot. But as they left the office, Emma's heart raced with a brand new question. Can light shine through the cracks in a corporate facade? Would Mr. Thompson prove he could be more than just a title? This chapter had begun to unfold fresh pathways, yet uncertainty lingered like a shadow. What would their next steps reveal? Would they face new challenges that could threaten this fragile alliance? Or would they find courage to make a change together? Emma clutched her mother's hand tighter, hopeful yet cautious, waiting for answers to emerge in the days ahead. The next morning, Emma awoke with the sun streaming through her window, stretching golden rays across her room. She could hardly contain her excitement about the meeting. Thoughts swirled in her mind like autumn leaves in a brisk wind. How could her small town connect with a company so large? The weight of possibility hung in the air, intoxicating and terrifying. At breakfast, she shared her dreams with her mom, her voice bubbling with enthusiasm. Mom, what if this really happens? What if my friends could learn about computers and get good jobs? We wouldn't have to leave our town. We could do something amazing. Brenda smiled warmly, though the worry in her eyes lingered. It would be wonderful, sweetheart. But remember, it's not just about ideas. It takes real dedication and hard work from everyone involved. The world outside seemed both wondrous and daunting, and she felt the burden of hope steeped in reality as the days passed. The momentum grew. Mr. Thompson had arranged a follow-up meeting, pulling together community leaders and his team from corporate social responsibility. Emma and Brenda sat around a table with people in smart suits, their eyes gleaming with both determination and anxiety. They weren't just discussing plans. They were standing at the start line of a marathon, and every conversation felt like a mile marker. Mr. Thompson opened the meeting, his tone serious but encouraging. We've heard from many of you over the last week about the needs in your town, he began, glancing at the gathering. But we also need to understand more about your reality. I want our efforts to mean something. He looked directly at Emma. Your insight is key, young lady. Brows furrowed and pens scribbled notes as Brenda leaned forward. What do you suggest we do first? We don't want promises, it needs to be real. Anxiety and excitement mingled in the air, each word building anticipation. Emma felt the weight of the moment. It was as if everything depended on her next thoughts. Maybe we could start with workshops? Like in the evenings after school? Show everyone how to code or use technology. It seemed simple, yet it carried the weight of her dreams for her friends. The adults exchanged thoughtful glances, and a murmur of approval rippled through the room. "That's a great idea, Emma," one community leader exclaimed, a smile breaking through the serious atmosphere. However, there was still an air of caution. "But resources cost money," someone cautioned. "Will the company really provide funding and enough support to start a program like this?" Mr. Thompson met their gaze, determination shining through. "Yes, I'll push for the budget needed to make this happen. But I need all of you to be committed. This has to be a partnership." Brenda's heart raced. A partnership, what did that really mean? Protection from disappointment? Or was it bound to disappointment if it faltered? Minutes passed as discussions flowed about logistics, classes, and mentors. Emma felt electric as ideas rolled around the table, growing brighter. For the first time, her dreams felt tangible, almost within reach. But doubt began to creep in as well. Could they really beat the odds? As the meeting wound down, Mr. Thompson turned to Emma again. "Your enthusiasm is contagious. Emma, will you help us find the best way to make this work? Get the community involved?" "Of course," she replied, her voice ringing with determination. On the drive home, Emma's heart buzzed. But something pulled at the corner of her mind, a question that wouldn't let go. What if the road ahead was full of bumps and obstacles they never saw coming? What if the excitement faded before they could secure their dreams? She glanced at her mother, hope mixed with concern swirling in her chest. This alliance felt groundbreaking and fragile all at once. Would faith lead them to change? The sun was setting, painting the sky with vibrant oranges and pinks, a vivid reminder that even the brightest days could turn dark. Emma clutched her mother's hand tighter, knowing deep down that the journey had only just begun. What awaited them on the horizon? The next morning dawned bright and fresh, yet Emma felt an undercurrent of unease. The sunlit streets that had filled her with hope the day before now seemed daunting, each shadow whispering doubts that lingered in her mind. Could they truly forge a partnership with a giant corporation? Her heart raced as she recalled Mr. Thompson's promise, the possibility of workshops, mentors, and a brighter future for her friends. At breakfast, Emma picked at her cereal, thoughts spinning like the gears of a clock. Brenda watched her daughter with a blend of admiration and concern. "You okay, sweetheart?" she asked gently, sensing the weight pressing down on Emma. "Just nervous," Emma confessed, still gazing at her bowl. "What if no one shows up? What if they think I'm just a kid dreaming too big?" Her voice cracked, revealing the fear that lay beneath her bravado. "Every big dream starts small," Brenda reassured her. "But you've got this. Remember, you're not alone. You have the whole community behind you." The warmth of her mother's words soothed Emma, if only for a moment. Later that afternoon, Emma gathered her friends at the park. They lounged on the grass, sunlight dappling through the trees above. With excitement bubbling up again, she explained the proposal. Evening workshops on coding and technology. Emma's heart swelled as she spoke. She could envision her friends typing away on laptops, problems dissolving into bites of newfound knowledge. "What if no one wants to come?" Sarah, her best friend, asked, biting her lower lip. Emma took a deep breath. "Then we make it fun. We can show them how cool coding is. We can plan games or contests." Her enthusiasm ignited a spark among the group, their eyes lighting up with cautious excitement. Before long, they banded together to craft a flyer. Each friend scribbled ideas and doodles, adding their unique touches. What started as a simple idea grew into a shared dream, uniting their spirits. They had to believe. After organizing the flyers, Emma took a trip to the local community center. Stepping inside, she felt a flutter of nerves as she approached the desk. "Hi, I'm Emma. I'd like to reserve space for some workshops. We want to teach coding to kids in the evenings." The staff member, a kind-eyed woman, studied her for a moment. That's ambitious. What makes you think it'll work? Emma took a breath. Because it matters. We matter. We just need a chance. The woman smiled, a hint of admiration in her gaze. I'll see what I can do. Sometimes it just takes one person to light the way. With that small victory under her belt, Emma felt her excitement renew. But as she left the center, she reflected on the challenges that lay ahead. The road wouldn't be easy. There would be skeptics and logistical challenges to face. What if the community didn't support them after all? Days turned into weeks, and the workshops began to take shape. Excitement filled the air, each interaction feeding her belief that they could pull this off. But as the date drew nearer, a nagging fear wrapped around her heart again. Would they really get the support they needed? What if the partnership they longed for unraveled before their eyes? That night, Emma sat at her desk, staring out at the darkening sky. Her heart beat rapidly, uncertainty swirling within her. Just as she felt that familiar weight in her chest, her phone buzzed. It was a message from Mr. Thompson, simply asking for an update. With renewed determination, she typed back, "We're ready, and I believe it'll make a difference." As she hit send, a new question bloomed alongside her worries. What truths and trials awaited them when the workshops finally commenced? Could this journey lead to more than just coding lessons? The reminder of the upcoming meeting loomed heavy, but with it came a spark of possibility. Emma knew change was close, but would they be strong enough to handle what was about to happen? The day of the workshops arrived, and the sun shone brightly, but Emma felt anything but cheerful. A pit of anxiety twisted in her stomach as she stared at the modest space in the community center. Kids were supposed to start arriving in just an hour. Would they come? Would any of her ideas resonate with them? The tables were cluttered with colorful flyers, each one shouting about coding competitions and fun learning experiences. Her friends helped set everything up, but she could see the uncertainty mirrored in their faces too. As they arranged laptops, Emma could hardly concentrate on instructions. "Hey, Em." Sarah nudged her, breaking the silence. "You all right?" Emma didn't want to admit how terrified she was. "Yeah, just thinking about everything." "Me too." Sarah sighed. "What if nobody shows?" "Then at least we tried," Emma said, forcing a smile. But inside, her heart pounded with doubt. As the clock ticked closer to the start time, whispers filled the air. More kids than she expected began to trickle in. Excitement bubbled in Emma's chest, mingling with a healthy dose of apprehension. These were her peers, students from her school and neighborhood, and here was Emma, a kid herself, standing before them. "Hi everyone. Welcome." Emma's voice echoed, a bit shaky but determined. "We're so glad you're here for the first coding workshop." She glanced around, searching their faces for encouragement. Their eyes, wide with curiosity, slowly melted her nerves. A girl in the front row raised her hand. "What's coding for?" Emma smiled, her heart relaxing a bit. "Coding is how we tell computers what to do. It's like giving them a set of instructions, and once you learn it, you can create games, websites, and so much more." Heads nodded. Emma could feel the energy in the room shift from doubt to possibility. As she introduced the first activity, a simple coding game, laughter erupted, and hands flew up to ask questions. But then, midway through the session, a little boy named Max bluntly asked, "Do you think we can really learn to code?" "Sounds hard." The question sent a pang through Emma. "It will be challenging, but that's okay. Learning new things often is. I was scared at first too, but we're all here to help each other." Max's eyes brightened. "Even if we fail?" Emma paused. "Especially if we fail. It's how we grow. Each mistake teaches us something new. Trust me, it's part of the adventure." They finished the first workshop to applause, a sound that filled Emma with warmth and pride. She could see the excitement simmer in her friends, and she didn't want it to end. As kids packed up to leave, one girl lingered. "Can we do this again?" she asked, beaming. Emma's heart swelled. "Absolutely. This was just the beginning." Feeling charged, she shot a quick look at Sarah, who winked back, already dreaming of plans for more workshops. After everyone filtered out, Emma gathered her friends in a huddle. "Can you believe we did it?" Their eyes danced with disbelief. And then Mr. Thompson arrived. He stood at the doorway looking impressed. "Congratulations, Emma. I'm proud of you for pulling this off." But before she could respond, he looked past her. "What's next?" Emma's heart raced again. There was a glimmer in Mr. Thompson's eyes, an unasked question that hinted at larger plans. As he stepped closer, Emma felt her chest tighten with anticipation. What could he possibly want to discuss? With a weighty silence hanging in the air, she realized this was just the beginning of something bigger. A flicker of both fear and hope ignited within her. What monumental opportunities lay ahead? What would she need to be ready for? An overwhelming sense of excitement washed over her. Emma knew she was stepping into a storm of change, but how would it all unfold? Emma took a deep breath, trying to steady her swirling thoughts. Mr. Thompson's presence felt like a weight on her shoulders, but also a beacon of light illuminating her path. She couldn't shake the feeling that this was about more than just the workshop. What do you mean, Mr. Thompson?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. The others in the huddle leaned in, their eyes darting between him and Emma, eager to catch every word. "There's potential here, Emma," he said, crossing his arms and leaning slightly. "This workshop was impressive. I think we could expand this program, take it to other schools, even cities." Emma felt the pulse of excitement race through her veins. "Really? You think so?" "Absolutely," he replied, nodding. "These kids are hungry for knowledge. You've lit a spark today, and I see it in their eyes. With the right support, we could ignite a wildfire." Her heart danced at the thought, but lingering in the back of her mind was a swell of uncertainty. "But can I really do this? I mean, I'm just a kid." Mr. Thompson smiled kindly. "Emma, some of the biggest changes have come from the ideas of young minds like yours. Don't underestimate what you can achieve." Emma glanced at her friends, their expressions a mixture of disbelief and encouragement. Sarah's eyes were shining with hope, and she looked ready to leap into action. "What do we need to do?" Sarah asked, her voice steady, jaw set with determination. Her enthusiasm was infectious. "We would need to establish a framework, secure additional resources, and plan future workshops," Mr. Thompson explained. "It'll take time, teamwork, and a lot of dedication, but I believe you all can do it." The world around Emma blurred for a moment. Could this be real? Her imagination raced, bringing forth vivid images of more kids laughing and coding, sharing ideas as their confidence grew. "What if we fail?" Emma blurted out, the fear creeping back in. "Then we'll learn from it. Just like today," Mr. Thompson replied, his voice calm and reassuring. "Every setback is just a stepping stone to success. Remember that." Emma nodded, feeling the weight of his words settle in. "Okay, I'm in. Let us do it." The small group erupted with cheers, their hearts racing like a drumbeat of hope. Emma glanced around the room, the community center now transformed into a space filled with dreams, a generation poised at the threshold of something big. After their excitement simmered a bit, Emma turned back to Mr. Thompson. "When do we start?" He chuckled softly. "Well, I think the first step is to brainstorm ideas together. But first, we need a team that believes in this as much as you do." Emma caught sight of her friends' eager faces. "We can make it happen." She felt a new surge of determination, ready to embrace the unknown as they began discussing possible ideas. The ideas blurred into one another, an exhilarating mix of courage and support. Names of schools were tossed around, outreach strategies were brainstormed, and visions of coding competitions danced in their minds. But in the back of her heart, one lingering question remained. Could they carry this momentum, meet the challenges ahead without faltering? Could her little spark really turn into a blazing fire? Emma knew they needed to focus on the next steps, but also braced herself for the potential hurdles. She had opened a door, but she had no idea where it would lead. With adrenaline coursing through her, she clutched her notepad, ready to write down every bright idea that danced into her head. This was the start of something monumental. What would Mr. Thompson reveal next? Would they find the resources they needed? The thought buzzed in her mind as they began mapping out their future. What awaited them on this journey ahead? Would they soar, or would the flame flicker out? Hours passed as Emma and her friends sat in a circle on the worn carpet of the community center. The energy in the room crackled like static electricity. They tossed around ideas as if they were colorful balloons, each one representing a possibility. Let us hold a coding camp over the summer. We can get volunteers, Sarah suggested, her hands animatedly painting the picture in the air. Emma could hardly keep up with the thrill circling her group. Or what if we had a showcase night? Families could come see what their kids are learning. It would be amazing. Mr. Thompson watched, a smile stretching across his face. This was magic. These kids were ready to change their world. But before he could respond, a noticeable sound broke through their chatter, a faint buzzing. Emma reached into her pocket, her heart sinking. Her phone was vibrating. She hesitated. Could be her mom checking in, but there was something nagging her to ignore it, to stay in this moment of possibility. Emma? Mr. Thompson interrupted her thoughts. What do you think? She looked up, sensing everyone's eyes locked on her. It's great. Could really bring everyone together. Yes, Sarah shouted, her excitement infectious. We can find local businesses to sponsor it. We just need to reach out. As they revived their brainstorming, Emma's heart swelled, but shadows loomed at the edges of her joy. The whispers of doubt nudged at her again. What if their ideas were too ambitious? What if they failed? But then, Mr. Thompson's gentle voice cut through her fears. Every time change has moved mountains, it started with small steps. These ideas, they're your small steps, and I believe you can take giant leaps. Small steps, Emma repeated softly, her thoughts rattling in excitement. Maybe he was right. Maybe every great achievement was born from that first, brave push forward. Okay, she said, her voice firmer this time. Let us write a proposal. We can outline our plan and present it to the community board. With a collective cheer, they started jotting down notes, their hands racing across paper. As Emma scribbled, her mind expanded. What if they could bring coding to kids who never had a chance? What if they could break the barriers? It was more than a workshop now. It was a movement, but a familiar pang squeezed her heart. She remembered the kids in her neighborhood who struggled to keep up. We need to make sure it's accessible to everyone, regardless of their background. It was a crucial point, and she felt the weight of it. That's so important, Emma. Mr. Thompson nodded. Creating an inclusive space will make your program thrive. The night wore on, and ideas flowed, building a tapestry of dreams. But they also faced obstacles, questions they'd yet to answer. How would they fund their camp? What if no one showed up? Emma's heart alternated between hope and worry, fueling her determination as they wrapped up their session. Laughter dancing in the air. Emma felt a strange mix of exhilaration and anticipation. Okay, team, she declared, her voice ringing with newfound strength. We've got a lot ahead of us. But if you're with me, I believe we can do this. Always, her friends cheered, their voices harmonizing in unison. But as Emma gathered her things, her phone continued to buzz. A rush of anxiety washed over her. What if it was something important? Emma, you good? Sarah asked, sensing her unease. Yeah, I just need to check something. Emma's voice trailed off, a battle brewing inside her. Should she stay in this moment, where a dream was blossoming, or pull herself into the worries of reality? With her heart racing, she stared at the glowing screen. What awaited her on the other side? Emma knew her world was shifting, but would it be in the direction she hoped? The answer flickered like a candle, just out of reach. What would she discover when she finally picked up the call? Emma took a deep breath and swiped her finger across the screen. As she answered the call, the familiar voice of her mom flooded through. Yet there was a sharp tension woven into the usual warmth. Hey, sweetheart, are you busy? Her mom's tone held a thread of worry that made Emma's stomach twist. I'm with Mr. Thompson and the team. We're working on some projects for the community center, Emma replied, glancing nervously at her friends who waited with bated breath. I see. I just wanted to check in. Things at home are a bit overwhelming, her mom sighed. The weight of those words hovered in the air. What do you mean? Emma felt her heart race. What now? Your dad, he lost his job last week. Her mom said, her voice trembling slightly. I'm trying to manage everything here, and we have bills piling up. In that moment, the vibrant chatter of her friends faded into silence. Emma's heartbeat drowned out the laughter. Mom, I didn't know, I thought things were okay. Panic tightened around her like a vice. Most days I can keep it together, her mom continued, a softness in her voice, but I wanted to let you know in case you've noticed things are a bit different. Emma's heart sparked with a mixture of dread and determination. We'll figure it out, Mom. We always do. I was just starting to feel like I can help the community too. You know? That's what makes you special, Emma. Her mom replied, and Emma could almost hear the pride swelling through the phone. Just keep your focus and don't worry too much about home. I want you to pursue your dreams. With that encouragement, Emma hung up, her mind racing. She looked at her friends, who were glancing between her and Mr. Thompson with concern. Is everything all right? Sarah asked gently. Not really, Emma started slowly, her throat tight. My dad lost his job. I think we might have to put some things on hold. No, Mr. Thompson said, his voice steady and unwavering. You can't let this stop you. Your passion can lead to solutions. Maybe there's a way for your project to help families like yours. Emma's heart fluttered at the thought. Could their camp not only be a place to learn but also a resource for those struggling, with perhaps scholarships or funds raised from local businesses? The idea lit a fire inside her. You're right, she said, feeling the weight lift. If we make this program work, we could help a lot of kids and families. As they discussed ways to merge their tech goals with community support, Emma felt the doubts fade like fog in sunlight. Ideas swirled. A crowdfunding page, outreach to local businesses, partnerships with organizations that focused on family support. Imagine a coding camp that not only teaches skills but also provides resources for parents, Emma said, her voice gaining confidence. Just then, the door swung open, revealing a little girl from the neighborhood, wide-eyed and hopeful. Can I join? She asked timidly, holding a worn-out toy computer. Emma's heart melted. Of course. We'd love to have you. The girl's face brightened, radiating pure joy. Really? You mean it? Yes. We're creating a space for everyone, Emma exclaimed, turning back to her friends and Mr. Thompson, who nodded in agreement as the group embraced this new vision. Emma felt a swell of purpose. Maybe the struggles at home were manageable if they united to create hope for others. But amid the excitement, a thought flickered in her mind. Could they really pull this off? What if they fell short? The uncertainty lingered. Emma found herself staring into the little girl's innocent eyes, a reflection of every dream she had for her community. What would it take to turn this vision into reality? The possibilities were endless, but Emma felt the weight of the world resting on their small shoulders. How far would they be willing to go? And would the journey bring them together or tear them apart? Emma couldn't shake the feeling that the most daunting challenges lay ahead. Emma found herself lost in thought, visions of the coding camp filling her mind with both hope and anxiety. The little girl, still clutching her toy computer, seemed to sense the shift in Emma's demeanor. What's wrong? She asked, her voice small but curious. Nothing, Emma said, forcing a smile. Just thinking about how amazing this is going to be. The girl grinned back, her enthusiasm contagious. Can I help? She asked. I want to learn to code, too. The earnestness in the girl's eyes tugged at Emma's heartstrings. Absolutely. We'll teach you, Emma replied, feeling the spark of determination reignite within her. We can make this camp a place where everyone learns together. Not just about coding, but about helping each other. Like superheroes? The girl's eyes widened, picturing herself in a cape. Exactly. Superheroes in training. Emma laughed, her heart warming at the thought, so the group huddled closer, all brainstorming ideas with renewed energy. They tossed around concepts for activities, including peer-led sessions where kids could share their unique skills and experiences, each one amplifying the community spirit they all craved. I think we need to put together a plan, Mr. Thompson suggested, pulling out his notebook. Let us scope out local businesses that might provide sponsorship. We need a solid pitch to show them what we're about, right? And we can start a social media campaign. Sarah chimed in, her enthusiasm shining through. We can highlight success stories, not just about coding but how it impacts lives. Inspired by the momentum, Emma divided tasks among her friends. They created a checklist, reaching out to potential sponsors, developing promotional materials, and organizing community meetings to gather input and support. A spark of hope glimmered amidst the chaos of her home life. The thought of empowering their community kept her grounded. She pictured her dad, now burdened with the weight of loss, and wondered if this new initiative could breathe life back into their family. If she could help others, maybe they could help themselves too. That evening, while everyone else retreated into their homes, Emma found herself wandering the quiet streets of her neighborhood. The sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky with shades of orange and pink. She paused at the park, where families gathered for evening picnics and laughter echoed across the grass. The image tugged at her heart. What if we could expand this program not just to teach coding, but to create a real community network? The thought raced through her mind, igniting her passion. Just then, she spotted Mrs. Thompson heading towards her. "Emma, I've been meaning to talk to you." The woman's voice rang with urgency. "I heard about your project idea. I think it's fantastic, but I also heard about your data situation." The heavy silence that followed made Emma's chest tighten. "Yeah, it's tough right now." Mrs. Thompson stepped closer, concern in her eyes. "I have connections with several local businesses. I'd love to help you reach out to them. Together, we could make a real difference." Emma's heart raced with gratitude and fear. That would be amazing. But what if we can't deliver? What if it all falls apart? "Every big dream comes with risk," Mrs. Thompson said softly. "But if you don't try, you'll never know what you're capable of." With those words resonating in her mind, Emma felt a new resolve building. "Okay," she said, determination infiltrating her voice. "Let us do this." As they discussed the next steps, Emma felt a sense of unity and purpose growing stronger within her. They were about to embark on something monumental, something that could change lives. But as she lay in bed that night, excited yet fearful, one powerful question lingered in her mind. Was she ready to face the challenges that lay ahead? And more importantly, how would they keep the momentum going amidst the unpredictability of life? The sun rose the next morning, draping its golden warmth over Maplewood Park, just as a fresh wave of determination coursed through Emma. Today was the day they would start kicking off their big initiative. Excitement bubbled in her stomach, mixing with the slight anxiety hovering at the corners of her mind. Could they really make a difference? Brenda walked into the kitchen, her smile brightening the space. "You look ready to tackle the world, Em," she said, pouring a bowl of cereal. Emma's heart swelled. Her mother, experienced in navigating life's ups and downs, always had a way of seeing the potential in even the tensest moments. "Mom, today is the first community meeting," Emma exclaimed, her voice bubbling over with energy. "Mr. Thompson is coming to present our idea. We'll share our plans for the coding camp." "How exciting!" Brenda beamed, though Emma caught a flicker of concern in her eyes. "I'm sure it'll go well. Just remember, everyone appreciates your passion. Lead with your heart." As they drove to the community center, they discussed all the ways they would connect with people. A steady chorus of laughter and optimism filled the car. This was at the moment they waited for. When Emma arrived, the community hall buzzed with energy. Local families, teachers, and leaders gathered, and she caught sight of Mr. Thompson setting up his presentation. The nerves danced inside her, but the sight of the little girl from yesterday, eagerly clutching her toy computer, reignited Emma's resolve. "Are you ready for this?" Sarah asked, squeezing her shoulder. Emma nodded, determination shimmering in her eyes. Together, they crafted a vision, and it was time to share it.Mr. Thompson stepped up to the podium, clearing his throat. "Thank you all for joining us today," he said, his voice sturdy and inviting. "What we're embarking on is more than just a tech camp. It's an opportunity to change our community. With children like Emma leading the way, we can create pathways to futures where technology and creativity unite." Emma felt a wave of pride sweep through her. Her voice soon followed, shaky but resolute. We want to give every kid in our town the chance to learn about coding. If we all invest, we can light the way for new possibilities. We want to ensure no one feels left behind. The audience's response was swift. The glimmers of hope ignited across faces, whispers of admiration rippling through the room. Suddenly, a hand shot up from the back. It was one of her school teachers, Mr. Simmons. Emma, what about the kids who can't afford the materials? How can we truly make it accessible? With the weight of his question lingering, Emma remembered that weight of uncertainty that had clung to her before. We're working on partnerships with local businesses to help supply materials and even offer scholarships, she replied, her voice gaining strength. But we also want to create a community fund, where those able to give can directly support kids who need help. The murmurs shifted to excited chatter. She could feel the room come alive with the energy of possibility. More hands were raised, and with each question, Emma and her friends answered with growing confidence. As the meeting wore on, plans solidified, support papers circulated for signatures, and excitement surged through the crowd. By the time they wrapped up, ideas for outreach, funding, and workshops spilled onto the whiteboard. They had created not just a program, but a community united in purpose. As folks began to disperse, Mr. Thompson approached Emma, pride beaming from his eyes. You've done an incredible job today, Emma. This is just the beginning. Let us ensure we keep this momentum going. Emma's heart soared as she glanced at her friends, their faces glowing with enthusiasm and relief. They were building something bigger than themselves. The following weeks passed in a blur. The coding camp transformed from a simple idea into a reality, and families rallied around the cause. Emma became a beacon of hope within the community. The joy of learning filled her days and danced beyond the confines of the workshop. One evening, as Emma walked home hand in hand with her mother, she couldn't help but share her excitement. Mom, we reached out to so many kids. We're really helping them believe in themselves. Brenda squeezed her hand tighter, pride swelling within her. You're creating a legacy, sweetheart, an unstoppable force of good. The streetlights flickered on, casting a warm glow like the heart of the community they were building. Emma thought back to the little girl with the toy computer. She could already see the future they were crafting together. It was an opportunity, a dream that no longer felt so far away. As they approached their home, the familiar hum of laughter welcomed them. The struggles they faced before felt lighter as new friendships blossomed, fueled by shared dreams. The challenges still lay ahead, but Emma recognized that with each step forward, they were not just chasing dreams. They were making them a reality. She turned to her mom, capturing a piece of that warmth. We're going to change lives, right? Yes, you are, Brenda replied, her eyes glimmering with hope. In that moment, Emma understood she could not only change her future but ignite a brighter path for others in their community. Hope resonated not only in her heart but echoed through Maplewood, reminding them all that every small step could indeed lead to monumental changes. Now was their chance to shine. Don't miss the incredible stories that inspire change. Subscribe immediately to the channel so you don't miss the next exclusive tales. Leave a like now, your support fuels us. Comment below with your thoughts and feelings about this ending. We want to hear your reactions. And share this story instantly with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Don't wait not even one more second to spread the light. True fans know how important it is to support this community.